Good morning to all. Today we'll have a case study discussion. And the topic for the case study is impact of advertisement on children. So let us see how children are being affected or how they are being influenced through advertisements. So what is the impact of advertisement through that is among the children? So in this case study, we focus on the influence of advertisement on children's behavior, preferences, and well-being. The study explores the potential positive as well as negative effects of advertising on children's health, choices, and attitudes. So this case study investigates the influence of advertisements on children's behavior, psychology, and well-being. It aims to shed light on the potential positive as well as negative effects of advertising on children's lives. Now let us see the background of the case study. So children today are exposed to a multitude of advertisements across various media platforms including television, the internet, social media and mobile apps. So these advertisements often target products like toys, sugary snacks, fast food and electronic gadgets. Now let us discuss about the objective of the case study. So the main objective is to analyze the impact of advertisements on children's behavior and preferences, to assess the potential negative consequences of advertising on children's health and well-being, to assess the impact of advertising on children's preferences, behavior and attitudes, to identify the potential negative consequences of excessive exposure to advertising. These are the four objectives we will discuss today's case study. That is, one is to analyze the impact of advertisement on children's behavior and preferences. The second one is to assess the potential negative consequences of advertising on children's health as well as well-being. Third objective is to assess the impact of advertising on children's preferences, behavior and attitudes. And the fourth objective is to identify the potential negative consequences of excessive exposure to advertising. The methodology what we adopt is survey and interview method, content analysis and behavioral analysis. We'll discuss one by one in detail. The first one is surveys and interviews. So we conduct surveys and interviews with parents and children in order to understand their exposure to advertisement and the after effect of the advertisements. The next one is content analysis. In case of content analysis, we analyze the content of advertisements targeting children, looking at themes, messages, and persuasive techniques. The third one is behavioral analysis. Here we observe and record the changes in children's behavior and preferences before and after the exposure of specific advertisement. So we will display a specific advertisement and pre and post study before showing the advertisement how is the children's behavior, and after showing the advertisement how is the children's behavior, that we will analyze. That is known as behavioral analysis. Now, the major findings of this case study are the positive impact. In case of positive impact, the advertisements can introduce children to new ideas, knowledge as well as products. So the children get exposure for new ideas, they gain knowledge and they come to know about new products in the market. And some educational advertisements promote learning as well as creativity. Some of the educational advertisements we have seen, this will also promote learning aspect as well as the creativity among the children. The negative impact, if you see the excessive exposure to advertisements, this can lead to materialism as well as unhealthy consumption habits. So unhealthy consumption habits, as children, they try to pick up by looking at the junk food advertisements. So the advertisements for unhealthy foods can contribute to childhood obesity and poor dietary choices. So because they are exposed to junk foods, no, the early stages itself nowadays you see children are getting obesity problem and proper dietary choices are missing in them. So this becomes poor. And the psychological effects such as decreased self-esteem may result from idealized images in the advertisements. Now let us see what are the challenges we face in advertisements. So the lack of regulation in advertising targeted at children. So the difficulty in distinguishing between informative and manipulative advertising. These are the challenges what we face. Now let us see the solution for this problem. So advertising regulation. So we advocate for stricter regulations on advertising to children, including limits on advertising unhealthy foods and beverages. And we encourage the development and enforcement of advertising codes that promote responsible marketing practices. Media literacy programs. We can implement media literacy programs in schools in order to educate children about the persuasive techniques what are used in the advertisements. And then we can teach the critical thinking skills to help children discern between informative and manipulative content. The next one is parental involvement. So the parent should be made involved in the children's good things. So we promote parental guidance and monitoring of children's media consumption. We encourage the parents to discuss about advertisements with their children and teach them about responsible consumption, how to do responsible consumption, that only the parents can do the teaching aspect. They can educate the children. The healthy advertising initiatives. So we can encourage the companies in order to produce and promote healthier products for children. Support campaigns that encourage the responsible advertising practices. Now the conclusion. So advertisements, we can have both positive as well as negative impact on the children. The negative effect on the children. So while they can introduce children to valuable information and products, they can also promote unhealthy habits and unrealistic ideals. So the regulatory measures, media literacy programs, and parental involvement and key in mitigating the negative impact of advertising on children and fostering the responsible consumption among the children. The positive impact, if you see the educational value, some of the advertisements, they promote educational products like educational toys and learning apps, which can help children acquire new knowledge and skills in a fun and engaging way they can do. Then creativity and imagination. So well crafted advertisements, they can stimulate a child's creativity and imagination. They can inspire children to think creatively and come up with their own ideas. Then the awareness of products. Advertisements can inform children about new products and services which can beneficial to the products are relevant to their needs or interest. Social learning aspects. So the advertisement, they often depict social interactions and behaviors which can serve as opportunities for children to learn about social norms as well as values. The negative impact, if you see materialism, so the excessive exposure to advertising can promote materialistic values in children, making them more focused on material possessions and consumerism. So unrealistic expectations.